Welcome to the first episode of ATD-TV for 2017. In this episode, you'll meet two of the authors of ATD's bestseller, Find Your Fit, a great book featuring insights from 16 career coaches. In this corner is a new feature in which our L&D community manager gets insights from two subject matter experts on hot topics in the field. Today, we'll hear about the pros and cons of classroom and virtual training. And finally, ATD's CEO Tony Bingham has a special invitation to share with you. Let's get started. Find Your Fit was released earlier this year. It's a book filled with insights on how to find the perfect fit when it comes to a just right job for you. It was edited by Sue Caden, ATD's manager of the Career Development Community of Practice. In this segment, Sue talked with two of the book's contributors, Lakeisha and Laura.
What are some of the elements that contribute to a good fit?
Great question. A few of the elements that contribute to a great fit are understanding your personality and understanding your interest. They are natural indicators of what company might work well for you and what occupation might work well for you. They can give you hints towards how you would perform in the job or how your values match up to the company's values. And the hope is that if you have a good match between your personality and your interest, that you would be more productive and that you also might find more satisfaction at work.
So, do you have anything to add to that, Laura?
I think it's very important that the person who is determining their career go through an inventory prior to getting a job. It will certainly decrease, as I'm sure you see, Lakeisha, decrease their disappointment and increase their satisfaction with their job if they go through that prior to landing a new one.
In your chapter, you wrote that understanding your personality and interests can help you avoid poor career decisions. So why is personality so important in career decision making?
Well, making career decisions in and of itself is very, very hard sometimes for job seekers. It's a big decision. It has a big impact in your life for how things will turn out. So understanding your personality can help you to confirm what you've been thinking might be a great path for you, or it can help you to see that a path might not work for you. So it really helps you to choose what type of job, what type of company would be a good fit for me. Understanding your personality can also give you a hint when you're making a career change. You know, you may just be feeling like it's time to do something different, or I've outgrown my current position, but where do I go next? And taking a career assessment, as Laura mentioned, can really help you to figure out what that next step is for you. In addition, understanding your personality can really help you to avoid making poor career decisions. A lot of the times, job seekers get into a job and they realize, oh my, this is not for me. This company is not for me, or this job is not for me. But if you take some time to really learn who you are and what your personality is about, you know, how you approach your world, how you approach your day, how you make decisions, you might be able to avoid some of those jobs or some of those companies that wouldn't be a good fit.
We're going to move to the job search process a little bit, and I wanted to ask you, Laura, about the hidden job market. We hear a lot about that, but in this day and age with so many jobs posted online, is there still such a thing as a hidden job market?
The answer is yes. There is absolutely a hidden job market, and job seekers who are in an active job search need to really understand that concept. The hidden job market is very misunderstood as a term. People believe that the jobs are what is hidden, and the jobs are not hidden. The jobs are being posted as frequently as they were always posted. What is hidden is the way that we search for jobs. And I'll give you an example. When I was a young child, I wanted a Cabbage Patch Kid doll. I don't know, Lakeisha, Sue, if you ever wanted one, but maybe some of our viewers did. It was a very popular toy back in the day. And fights were erupting all over the country to find a Cabbage Patch Kid. Well, there was none to be found. But my mother, she owned a toy store, and she was able to secure a Cabbage Patch Kid before they came into the Toys R Us. And I, that holiday, became a proud owner of a Cabbage Patch Kid. But if you were like any other child that year, you could not get a doll by going to the front door of the toy store. You had to find a back way in. And it's just the same way with modern job search. So if you're looking for a job, just like everyone else, through the front door, and the front door being online job boards, company websites, application process, you will find that you're going to be up against a hill, because there are 75 to 300 other applicants for every position that's posted. And so to get that job, you want to be the one who gets there before the job is posted And that's the reason that it's hidden, because it actually has not been posted yet.
Find Your Fit is available on the ATD store. In This Corner is a new feature we'll be bringing you throughout 2017. Amanda Smith, ATD's Community Manager for the Learning and Development Community of Practice, brings in 2 experts and talks to them about different aspects of today's hot topics. Today, it's classroom versus virtual training. Here's Amanda with Kyle Perry and Christina Holloway.
There's been a lot of talk about virtual training as well as classroom training, and I wanted to talk to you all about, the advantages and disadvantages of both. And we see a number of factors, the reasons why people actually go virtual or they go classroom-based, and I want to take some time to talk about some of those benefits today. I'll let you lead, Kyle, because I know you're going to be handling the classroom-based training today, and it'd be great just to kind of hear what are some of the things or some of the factors that you're seeing immediately as to why people still, use the classroom training format to deliver their training.
Yeah, I think classroom training remains relevant and will always remain relevant because it provides a interaction with a human trainer, whether that trainer is a facilitator or a subject matter expert. It allows for immediate feedback, questions to get answered, and dialogue to be shared as well as with peers and classmates. There's a lot of really cool stuff that's happening in technology through virtual training, but that classroom component and the human interaction allows for a lot of really rich learning experiences that can be transferred to the workplace.
Christina, I would love to hear your take on some of the factors of why people actually do virtual learning.
One of the most obvious reasons from my perspective is a business driver. The budget may not be sustainable to fly people who are geographically dispersed from all over the country to one place to do a classroom-based training. Some other reasons is that if you're training somebody in a skill or knowledge that is high risk, you might be able to impart some of that knowledge or give them practice in a safe environment online, leveraging simulations or a gamified environment that allows them to do that and to fail without putting anyone or something at risk or themselves at risk. So depending on how that virtual learning environment is designed and the learning strategies that are developed, that type of virtual learning environment may work better for the skills and the knowledge that you're trying to impart to the learner. Also, over time, virtual training can actually be more cost effective. So there may be an upfront cost associated with acquiring a platform or the software to support virtual training, but as you're using that over time, those costs become distributed, and so the overall cost of training decreases.
There are some times that we all know that this style just may not work, and so I do want to just kind of, when does virtual training not work? When does classroom training not work? Christina, I'll let you lead here this discussion on, there's some times where virtual training may not be the best option, and if there's some scenarios that you can discuss, would love to hear it.
One of the ways that virtual training may not work is when you're trying to facilitate development of hard skills that you have to be able to touch somebody in order to be able to help them. So for example, teaching somebody how to properly administer CPR may be very difficult to do in a virtual environment. So you may be able to take more of a blended approach where you upskill them in the knowledge and the theory behind that type of about giving a CPR and administering CPR, the number of breaths versus the number of pumps, but then making sure that they're actually doing it and doing it in the right place. That may be where classroom training best fits that need. And so it's just really understanding the learning objectives, the performance objectives of what you're trying to get your learner to do, to understand whether classroom versus virtual is the best. Another disadvantage of virtual training is if not properly done, you don't have that sense of community. And so that is something that I think there's a lot of research that shows a lot of training transference of knowledge happens informally. And so someone needs to be skilled in a virtual with virtual facilitation in order to allow that informal knowledge transference happen. And I think a big part of that is building community. There's a higher level of effort required to build community online versus in in person. And so that's a big skill in order to require and a big lift of effort for someone to be able to do that. And the last disadvantage that I think we could talk about with virtual delivery is the technology platform. Technology is great when it works, and when it doesn't work, oh boy.
Yes.
So, so as long as the technology platform is working, then and you can have your class, then it's great. But if it's not working, then oh boy.
Kyle, if you don't mind talking about some of the disadvantages of classroom training, you know, sometimes we know it just doesn't work, and we'd love to hear you speak on some of those instances.
One of the primary disadvantages to classroom training is the logistical hurdles. And there are logistical hurdles to virtual training, such as technology not working. But logistically speaking, for classroom training, you've got to have a location. You've got to get everyone together. You've got to have a facility that can house the number of people in the format that you need for the amount of time that you need. And sometimes that's just physically not possible. If you've got people that are geographically dispersed across the country, you just physically can't get them together. That's a challenge. Also connected to logistics is the cost of in-person training. I think sometimes people look at the cost of a development of a virtual training, if it's an e-learning course, and kind of get a little bit of sticker shock initially. But when you compare that to the long-term costs of a classroom training, taking in retail, taking people off the retail floor to put them in a classroom is easily quantifiable dollars that aren't being made on the retail floor. And then you look at the cost of making sure that that classroom training is always up to date with the correct information, and that you've got skilled facilitators that know that information and stay up to date. It becomes a logistical challenge, and really the centerpiece, I think, to effective classroom training are skilled facilitators. And sometimes those are professional trainers that learn the content and deliver it. Sometimes you've got subject matter experts that are learning training and facilitation skills, and without a skilled facilitator, it doesn't matter if you have the best classroom, the best facilitator guide that's written in a well-buttoned PowerPoint. If you don't have a skilled facilitator, the training's effectiveness plummets pretty quickly. So there's a lot of logistical challenges that kind of revolve around the classroom training component.
Thank you all, Kyle, Christina. I enjoyed our time here. We had a really good talk on virtual training, classroom training. We can talk about this probably for another hour or two. So I want to thank you for bringing your expertise to ATT today. And if you want to hear more on this and other L&D topics, visit www.td.org. Thank you.
ATD 2017 is fast approaching. This is the premier event for the talent development field. ATD's president and CEO Tony Bingham has a special invitation for you.
Hi, I'm Tony Bingham, president and CEO of the Association for Talent Development, or ATD. I'd like to personally invite you to join 10,000 of your peers and colleagues from around the world in Atlanta, Georgia this May. The ATD 2017 International Conference and Exposition is the premier international event for everyone working in the talent development field. We are committed to our global community. ATD 2017 offers an engaging learning experience with hundreds of education and networking opportunities and the industry's largest expo. You'll gain insights into the latest trends for designing, delivering, and measuring learning programs. In addition, ATD welcomes the diversity of perspectives that you bring to your talent development colleagues. Whether this is your first time at an ATD event or you've been joining us for many years, there is always something new to learn at our International Conference and Exposition. On behalf of ATD, we appreciate your contributions to the industry and your efforts to travel to Atlanta for this premier talent development event. When you arrive at ATD 2017, you'll enjoy a warm reception from fellow conference attendees. I hope that I can personally welcome you to ATD 2017 in Atlanta. Thank you for being part of ATD's global community of talent development professionals. Together, we are creating a world that works better.
And that'll wrap it up for this episode of ATD-TV. Look for us when you're in Atlanta for ATD 2017.